Well, there's a very furious rally playing out there in the markets, as we all know. Sensex going to record highs of 66,000. But there is equally furious rally which is happening in one of the exchanges stocks, which is BSE Limited. Almost 35% kind of run up in the last 1 month. There's a lot of developments brewing there. So we thought of getting you a very special chat, an exclusive chat with the gentleman who is heading the affairs at BSE Limited, Mr. Sundaraman Ramamurthy, joining us, the new MD and CEO of BSE Limited. Sir, thank you very much for joining us today.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. So let's start by understanding, the market is abuzz with a lot of things happening, and that's why it is reflected in the stock price, if it is any guide. But I understand that specifically you have taken a lot of steps and you're working in the direction of improving Sensex derivatives and products around it, and it is yielding a lot of results in terms of improvement in volumes. What are your thoughts on that, and what steps are you taking?
Thanks first of all having me in this interview. It's too early days for me. I just joined 6 months back, and we are trying our best to make BSE one of the most vibrant exchanges. Our new logo has a tagline called the power of vibrance. That's what we are trying to live up to. We have recently relaunched Sensex derivatives. We are not doing anything greatly new. The index is one of the old index, and BSE is one of the oldest exchanges in the country, and the product is well known. Just that we made certain tweaks and relaunched it. The tweaks were all suggested by the market intermediaries. We have met a lot of market intermediaries to check with them what is that they would like to see in a product which they would like to trade. We were all along trying Sensex 50. They told us, please try Sensex 30. We are able to better relate with it because it has been, Sensex 30 has been in there for a quite long time, and we all relate the market with that. Whenever we talk about market, we talked about Sensex movements. So please relaunch only Sensex 30 derivatives first. And they talked to me about a unique expiry of Friday. They talked to me about shortening, making the contract size bit small so that the margin levels are affordable. Like this, a few tweaks are suggested by the marketplace, and we relaunched. That has started seeing more traction from the marketplace, as this is a product brought by them, for them, through us.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's very feedback based changes which you have made, and it is getting reflection in the adoption.
That's
but
right.
Are you also reaching out to, because apart from the retail guys, it is also a product which actually is aimed at the bigger players, the institutional setup. Are you making an outreach program or interacting with them, or this feedback came from that side as well?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So when I look today at the marketplace as to what are the different types of players, I find even within retail there are discount brokers, there are call-based brokers, mobile app-based brokers, and there are proprietary traders, there are dealer-based traders, there are HFTs, there are algo players, and of course there are foreign institutional investors. Domestic institutions' play in derivatives is very restricted and limited. To be very honest, it is very tough to approach and access all of them and start marketing a product. There has to be a path in going towards it. The first and foremost of the things that was required was members' feedback, which we had taken. Second is facilitating the members to trade. Members all trade in the stock exchanges through front ends. The front end software providers, when we started, just there were 2 people who were providing the support. Today we have 13 people who were providing the support. More and more have come in. So we have worked with them to help them out and then ensure that they are able to support BSE's F&O segment. That had increased the number from 20 to 200. Today I am very happy to say we are having more than 200 members who are participating in equity derivatives. This is a mix of retail discount brokers, mobile brokers, EXE based brokers, dealer based brokers, proprietary traders, some amount of algo players and HFTs. Typically, if you look at it, foreign institutional investors and HFTs, they come in only after seeing a track record of a product for some time to see what is the liquidity, what is the depth, and what is their projection about its future, based on their own time tested methods.
Then they'll sample
So
it.
unless and until you are able to display it, nobody will come in. Fortunately, we have started displaying it. That is the reason why we are having HFTs already walking in with their algos. The next step will be to take it to the FPIs and talking to them about the product. We will be able to now showcase the depth, the number of UCCs, the liquidity, the bid-ask spreads, the volumes, the velocity. That will help them to take a call and start trading this product. This product is a very good complementary product in multiple aspects. This product is based on Sensex 30, which is having 30 stocks as against Nifty, which has 50 stocks. Therefore, it is able to incorporate price-sensitive information slightly faster because it has lesser number.
It's about speed, right?
That's right. Therefore, there will always be a lead and lag between Nifty and Sensex. More so because since Nifty has too many market participants already, there is lesser market participants at this point of time in Sensex derivatives. So there will be lead and lag. That will help people to do pair trading and devise strategies. So it will be a wonderful complementary product and will grow along symbiotically along with other products without coming in the way as a competitive product, more as a complementary product.
So you have redesigned the product. It always existed, but you have made changes to suit the players and redesign it much more intelligently to make it more efficient, I would say. What are your thoughts on algo? That is also witnessing a sharp increase, and there is adoption and there is some amount of awareness also being spread about it. As a product, as a category, what are your thoughts? Do you think there's a good future ahead?
So it's like this. If you look at it, earlier on how trading was happening, you will decide to trade, you will go and tell your broker or sub-broker or whomsoever you know as associated with the market, and then he will go and tell somebody who ultimately has access to the ring, and he will go and transact there. And there were concepts of regional stock exchanges which brought in more delay. If you were to hold a stock which was traded only in Chennai Stock Exchange, it is after a couple of days only you will be even able to access. Clearly, we found that was detrimental to the interest of growth of market and therefore to the growth of economy, because secondary market provides not only a price finding mechanism but also an exit mechanism which is essential for the growth of primary market and investments into India for the economic development. So what we did, we brought in electronics, we brought in technology, we brought in satellite technology and said people anywhere in the country can trade in any stock of any exchange in a place without going to the broker directly physically, right? They can call the broker and tell, and the broker will punch into a system, so that increase some amount of speed. But laws of physics certainly apply, right? So the capability and the speed with which a man can punch and the amount of odd errors associated with it are very high. So that was the second stage. Then people wanted to increase the speed. How to increase speed? Human brains think in a way and place orders. If we could use the same thinking process into a form of a code, that's what we called as algo. So nothing is good or bad. If something is used properly, it becomes good. If something is not used properly, the same thing becomes bad. So today, if you look at it, there are a lot of regulatory requirements about an introduction of an algo, of an approval of an algo, identification as an order, as an algo order or not, and therefore a lot of stringent regulatory restrictions and requirement.
Let's move on, on the one side of your business which has been doing very well and only gaining traction, and that is Star MF platform. There were earlier talks of some monetizing also, but I would like to know what stage does it stand, but is it even becoming bigger? The recent numbers shows that traction continues there.
See, we are trading today, we are having Star MF because we are a stock exchange. So it's a part and parcel of stock exchange activities. If you look at the entire governance framework, the shareholders vest faith in you because they are interested in you doing value creation and therefore wealth creation for them. If we were to divest, which is the question which you asked,
or even part of it?
Part of it, if either we are doing, one is, no, we are part of stock exchange, that's what we are doing, it's a core business activity. It will be tantamount to ask, if tomorrow FNO does well, will you divest FNO? It will tantamount to asking that.
Fair point.
And second, if I divest and get some money, And if I were to do treasury, my shareholders are not reposing confidence in me for doing treasury for them, or keeping idle cash, or giving it back to them.
So it's a capital allocation call not to go ahead or think in that direction.
No, it is more about the duty as a stock exchange to the marketplace. The duty as a stock exchange to the marketplace is to provide good products in a very regulated environment. We all would agree mutual fund is one of the less risk investments for using it as a tool to convert financial savings into capital market savings from rural masses in a very good way, in a controlled way. Given that it is the duty of the stock exchange to grow it and not to hive it off and see monetary.
That's a very important clarification coming in. Might as well grow as a business, and the proceeds of the earnings that business will actually generate, that comes to the funnel it down to the main company earnings, and that's what shareholders actually want, right? What about the SME exchange? That is doing phenomenally well. You have giant share there, and that part of the market is super vibrant right now.
Honestly, I sort of blush when somebody tells me that we are doing well. I'll tell you the reason. We are having around 500 companies. That's not even tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
We have not even scratched the surface.
There are 1 lakh in SMEs in India.
Yeah.
Over 1 lakh.
If you permit me, I'll just take 2 states and tell you what are the khasiyat, which we have not even scratched. Take the case of Rajasthan. What all types of SMEs they have? Marble, artificial jewelry, gemstones. How many SMEs operate there? Do we have even 1% of them with us? No. Take the case of Tamil Nadu. We all only think immediately about Tirupur. Is it all about Tamil Nadu? What about the Karur belt? What about the Trichy belt? Where you find so many OEMs, so many people who are giving automobile parts, spare parts. Have we touched any of them? Nothing. So in my opinion, if you are talking about SME as providing very huge share of employment, GDP growth, exports, 500 is not even a number to talk about.
How large can it become in the next 5 years in your view?
Sky is the limit.
5,000, 10,000 companies?
Sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. What we need to do is, we need to go, many of them only know their mother tongue.
Sure.
India is a very big country in terms of number of languages. We have restricted capability. The day we realize that we have these type of restrictions and capability limitations, we will outgrow it. We will go to the local, we will talk their language, we will explain them in their understandable language how it is going to be useful for them to be visible. I will talk to you about a place near Salem. Wonderful wood carvings are made there and they are exported. We don't have any one of them in our SME segment. I can give you hundreds of names, hundreds of examples.
I can see how passionate you are about that subject. Because this particular question, you're kind of bubbling with energy. I can see that.
Yeah, so it is very close to my heart because it is contributing in a very significant way to Indian economy. I think we have to do a lot more there.
All right. Okay, so I was just looking at your profile before coming and reading about you. I mean, you have a very unique profile. Essentially, you understand risk very well. But what a brilliant time you spent at the other exchange, and of course a foreign bank, and you in a banker. So full circle of financial services is what you understand very well. How are you looking at the prospects of our country right now? And being an exchange, of course, and a veteran in financial services, the prospect and of course the market prospect then, because that will eventually mirror the economy over the long term.
Let me share with you this. We all have seen such times in India where there used to be huge scarcity.
Yeah.
Scarcity for food, kerosene, palm oil, sugar, everything.
Such basic stuff.
Yeah. Today, we don't talk of any of them. India has grown a lot. And in my opinion, India is going to grow even more. This is another pet topics for me. If you look at it, a growth of a country depends mainly on 3 factors, I must say. Consumption-led growth, export-led growth, and investments-led growth. There is no need for me to further tell anything. In all these 3 areas, we are excelling.
Yes,
India's own population with 65% plus in the age of 15 to 65, which we call as income earning age or employable age, and which will continue to be in that sweet spot for quite some time to come in the near future. And with a growing middle class, which is known for its consumption capability, and the doubling of the middle class consumption in very regular periodicity, and globally contributing for middle class consumption. The English speaking capability, which is a global language today, of this growing the income earning population, the time zone where we are kept, the legal and regulatory system that we have, which is one of the very good systems in the world, the democracy that we are able to provide, the cultural diversity which we are able to show, I think we are in a great sweet spot for further growth. It's going to be a golden era for Indians in the near future to come. Already it is, and it is going to
It will only get better in the
yeah,
coming
that's
decades.
what I feel.
So, the street believes that all these efforts put together, the future, the next 3 to 6 years for even BSE is very bright. And they are putting, say, somewhere around 25% kind of earnings CAGR possibility next 2 to 3 years. Do you think that's a fair estimate? Or do you think it can be improved upon?
I am a listed company. I am representing that company. I have very least capabilities to make any forward-looking statements. Sure. So I would like to say I cannot add any reply to this question.
At least you can say that the strategic focus, you just come a few months, the strategic focus of your team, you and your team, over the next 2 to 3 years, if you could share visibility on that. Market will of course do their own math and talk about earnings. I don't want an earning reply from you, but the areas of strategic focus from you.
That's a very good question that you have asked. Basically, when in a single sentence, if I have to say, it is we want to unleash the power of vibrance. That is the single sentence which I repeat every time to my team, and my team believes it. I have a wonderful team with me, fully supporting me, which is very evident. Otherwise, I could not have done whatever I have done in the last 6 months. 6 months is too small a period for bringing in changes. Already, if you perceive that I am making changes, that's not because of me, it's because of my team. So the team is oriented to unleash the power of vibrance, as I said. What do we mean by that? In every area of activity where we have present, we have to make our presence felt, and we have to make our vibrancy felt. Where all we are there, equity derivatives, currency derivatives, commodity derivatives, interest rate derivatives, SME, mutual fund, RFQ platforms, retail debt. I can go on naming. Time is short for us, right? All of us have only specific tenure. In that we have to pick and choose. For us, for this current year, what we have picked and chosen is equity derivatives first, followed by equity, and then is currency options, to be very specific. In equity derivatives, we had 0 volumes, you know that, and today we are trying to see some green shoots. Maybe we will be able to grow with the support of one and all. And in respect of equity, we are currently clocking around 7% market share. My request to the market participants, particularly the institutional participants, is start putting some more volume with me.
Sure.
The moment I become 10% market share in the market, automatically the volumes start building up. Here again, I will be able to play a wonderful complementary role in the growth of the market as a whole, not by cannibalizing any market share. So just the initial push of increasing the volumes up to 10% is what is required. After that, the cycle on its own starts in a big way. So that is the second most important effort we are doing. Currency futures, we already have around 35 to 40% market share. So our focus is on currency options, where we have not opened much of an account. We do have a product which is trading, but not to the extent which in my opinion it can trade. So me and my team are working towards rejuvenating it. Once we have stabilized equity derivatives, that will be a major area of focus. SME, as you have seen, would be a real great focus for us. And mutual funds, again, because of its socio-economic impact and the financial savings being converted into capital market savings impact into the market, we will be focusing on. As of now, these are the priorities that we have put in front of us. Commodities, later next interest rate derivatives will all follow. Interest rate derivatives is a slightly complex product for India. There are a lot of changes that need to happen in Indian markets for that to happen. So that will take some time. Certainly this will be our approach and this will be our strategy. My team is fully tuned and aligned with what we are talking. In fact, what I am telling is not my strategy. This is what we as a team felt that we should do.
You also have a lot of investments in some of the other companies, CDSL, many others. How are they doing? You're hoping to keep them on for now, or some value unlocking?
So by and large, they all are doing well. And by and large, we have a very close oversight over what we have invested in and how we are doing. Many of them are very early days for the investments. Many investments start giving you fruits only when the initial minimum gestation period is over. So most of them are in those areas. Of course, CDSL and all are in advanced stages, and which is what we are seeing.
One last word, because you're also somebody who keeps a very close eye on risk, being a risk manager as well. How do you see the environment right now? Because beyond the market froth or not froth or valuation, only on the regulatory side, and how exchanges and regulator are working in tandem to ensure a very good, vibrant environment exists in the market. In many years back, decades back, the market was so concentrated. Few people could concentrate positions, this, that, all of those years of the past. How would you see the market right now on risk parameters?
I would see you touched upon the regulatory relationship with exchanges and how the regulatory formulation happens in this country. I must say it's a role model for the entire world. The way in which our country has progressed in regulation making, the consultative approach that it follows, the committee-based methodologies applied to evolve policy formulations in the larger interest of public, the consultative papers that come into the public domain, allowing everybody and anybody to have a say on what is being proposed to be called as a regulation. I think these are all very great measures, and I would say they are benchmark for the global economy to look into and emulate.
Outstanding. Thank you very much, sir, today joining us on ET Now.
Namaskar.